And Luke, you're going to answer this one first.
Biggest surprise of the NBA season will probably be, and I'm going to get some flack for this. I'm prepared. I think the biggest surprise of the NBA season is that the East is competitive. I think that I'm blown away by the Brooklyn Nets. I've been blown away by the way the Pacers have played. The Nets are
favorite teams.
The Nets are running. The Nets are running at the fastest pace. I'm blown away by the Pistons. They were leading the league. Leading the conference. I've been blown away by teams like that. I was kind of disappointed with the Bucks, as I just got done talking about. They've got Giannis, they got Jabari coming back here in December, January. I thought that team was really going to look good. They lost 4 straight, kind of fell off just a little bit, but the East has been overall super competitive, and the games in which they've played have been fun to watch. They're, kind of the starters always talk about league pass teams to watch, and the Brooklyn Nets and the Indiana Pacers have rose to the top of that list. The NBA puts out one each week, and so that's probably my biggest surprise has been the East is competitive. They're playing decent against the Western Conference right now.
What about for you, Colt?
Well, I'm going to have to go with a team in the East that has blown me away, and that would be the Boston Celtics. I mean, it's kind of an obvious one. They've won 15 in a row. I thought their season was all but done after Gordon Hayward was injured in the first 6 minutes. But they've definitely got good play out of the role players. Jaylen Brown's stepping up and playing. Al Horford is playing about as good as he did, even when he was playing with the Hawks. And then you got good pieces off the bench. Aaron Baines coming out and having some good games, had his career high, I think, with 21, something crazy like that. Just like good role players showing out and doing what they can in Gordon Hayward's stead. So I'd have to go with the Celtics.
All right. And then lastly, Luke, you're going to attack this one first. I know it's early, but what team can make a run in the playoffs or be a potential scare for the Warriors-Cavs repeat again?
This is a tough one. I'm not on the Boston Celtic train. That's not why I didn't say that in the last question. But I'm not on the Boston Celtic train because this is why. The Cavs could care less about the regular season. They could care less. They just beat the Golden State Warriors. In my opinion, the Golden State Warriors at this point could care less after their 73 wins in the regular season 2 years ago, setting the record for regular season wins. I don't think they give a care at all about the regular season. So my pick is the OKC Thunder. I think other than the Houston Rockets maybe even being a scare, I don't believe that the Houston Rockets have enough firepower in the arsenal outside of CP3 and James Harden. I know Capella's had a great season, but I'm going with the three-dogged head there with Anthony, Russell Westbrook, and Paul George. Paul George is starting to play really well. Even though even the day that Carmelo missed his first game as a Thunder, Paul George showed out and had a great game. And when Russ was asked, or when PG was asked, what did he get Russ for his birthday, he said, "I dropped him 37." So I think that the camaraderie and the chemistry is going well.
Well, it's still going to be Cavs and Warriors, so no one's really going to scare. If anyone's going to scare, you mentioned it, the Rockets. If anything, it might go 7 games, maybe. But the Warriors are still the team to beat. The Cavs will still run over everyone. The Celtics, if they play each other, maybe 5 or 6. Cavs still win. So, but if I had to pick, the Rockets might be the biggest threat, maybe possible in the NBA to a team, and that's the Warriors. So.
All right. So obviously that'll be the end of the segment. Al, who would you say won the face-off?
I'm going to have to go with Luke winning this face-off. Definitely agreed with his take for MVP. Giannis got off to a hot start, but Harden, some people could have made a case that he was the MVP last year, and then has come back this year and been arguably even better and carried his team through the absence of CB3, and again, his team's winning, and the Bucks aren't. And I'm going to have to go with Luke winning this face-off.
All right. So obviously that's one of our favorite segments is the face-off there, and that leads us kind of into the next question. And this is a tough question for us to answer. and I didn't preconceive this one with you guys. You guys don't know about this question, and so I'm just willing to kind of be open to what you guys have to say. But if there's a team out there right now that needs a trade, that there's a team that they're a piece away, or even maybe a player. So this is a two-sided question. You can choose a player or you can choose a team. Is there a player out there that needs to be traded? They're in a rough situation where they're at now and could really help a contender? Is that a role player? Is that a star? Or is there a team that is a piece or two away that need maybe a swap of a they're sending 2 role players and they're going to receive a role player? In the league right now, where do you guys kind of see that taking place?
I think the Rockets and Cavs will both be active in trade talks. The Cavs, LeBron is, basically the general manager without being the GM, and he's been active and vocal in years past. And if he says we need another playmaker, they're going to go get another playmaker. And Bledsoe's off the market, but I think closer to the deadline they'll go try to find somebody, especially if D Rose stays banged up. Isaiah Thomas looks like he's healing ahead of pace, but I think that they're going to have to go get somebody. Darren Williams did not work out in that role. He didn't make anything in the finals last year. So they're going to look for another playmaker. And then Houston, they go and get Chris Paul this offseason. They're all in to try and beat Golden State right now. And right now, in a 7-game series, they don't have enough pieces to beat Golden State. So they're a piece away. I think they'll try and make a splash through a trade as well. So it'll be interesting to see what those two teams do to try and take down Golden State.
Eric, what do you think?
I'd have to go with the Pelicans. I think with Boogie and Anthony Davis, they obviously have the power forward and center position locked up and blows any other team away. But I think they really need a guard or a small forward to really excel. I know Rondo coming back is going to help them. Definitely having a pass-first point guard will help them for sure because clearly Boogie and AD can get it done on the offensive end. But I still think they're a piece away from really contending at all.
Yeah. Colt, what do you think, man? Do you agree with Eric's take about the Pelicans?
I wasn't expecting that team to be thrown out there, but they're just really relying on Biggie and AD, which they'll win you games, but I don't think they're gonna take you to the finals.
Yeah.
And I still, even if they add a guard that can, a really good guard that can do something to help that team, I still don't think they could even come close to beating any team like the Warriors or the Rockets.
Yeah, my biggest concern with that team is, let's say they add a 3, which is the area in which I see they got the 1 and 2 with Rondo and Holiday, and then of course the Monsters at 4 and 5. But they don't have a 3. They've thrown Cunningham in there. They've thrown Darius Miller in there from Kentucky, the old. They don't have a bench. That team does not have a bench. They, I believe Jamal Crawford came out and had 20-plus points back-to-back nights, and they cut him for Josh Smith. Or Jordan Crawford. Sorry, Jamal Crawford's of course on the Timberwolves. Good call out, but they cut him for Josh Smith.
Jordan Crawford has not even signed yet.
Yeah,
Jordan. Baffling.
It is baffling, but at the same time, they cut Josh Smith just days later, and so
Big mistake. Jay Smooth all the way.
Jay Smooth is no good, and that's obvious.
Mistake.
But that team doesn't have a bench, and that's probably what scares me about that team right now. Well, as we look to wrap it up here, at the Ninth Man podcast, two questions left for us. What team right now has the best bench of the entire NBA? What team, I'd say 6 through 10 has the best bench? Would you guys say right now? I'd say starting off, I was disappointed, if you will, at the Cavs. I expected the Cavs to have probably the best bench, and maybe when they move D Rose or D Rose ever gets healthy, maybe I can see that team ending up having a decent bench. But the Houston Rockets right now have the best bench, in my opinion. The Houston Rockets have the best bench, in my opinion. I think that. They're kind of utilizing PJ Tucker in that role. different things like that. I think they're first in bench production right now, in fact. So, what do you guys think?
I hate them, so anytime I show them any love,
Golden State Warriors.
any bias aside, I got to go with Golden State, though. I mean, Sean Livingston still being a backup point guard for Steph Curry is just insane. He can score over anybody. Nick Young just getting wide open look after wide open look. Omri Caspi just casting threes. They stole Jordan Bell from Chicago. I mean, he's not getting a ton of minutes right now, but it's like that's how deep they are. Is Jordan Bell, a couple weeks ago, gets out in transition and throws an alley-oop to himself off the backboard. And it's just like they're just so deep at every position. And it's crazy because they have so many superstars. It's like, how can you have that many superstars on contracts and be that deep off the bench? But I got to go with Golden State.
Colt, what do you think,
You
man?
got to give my boy Swaggy P some love too.
Get out of here.
Absolutely.
Outside of having 23 in the first game.
I know. I'm just messing. But best bench.
Yeah.
The obvious one was the Warriors. I would have went with them if Al didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah. No, that is a tough. EK, what do you think?
I'll have to go with the Denver Nuggets. They are very young, so I think that plays a role in it. They have a lot of upside, but they're back up big with Mason Plumlee, Will Barton, some guys